In this episode, I'm going to show you how to make this amazing wooden chair. All right, let's get started. Hi everyone, and welcome to today's episode. I'm really excited about this one because we're going to be building a wooden chair. It's a real simple chair, a simple design that anyone can make. The materials that you need for this project is a 1x12. Now, the length that you need this piece of lumber to be depends on how big you want your chair to be. I would recommend just purchasing an 8-foot long 1x12 just to be safe, because you can always make it smaller. I, however, am going to be using a sheet of plywood since I have tons in my shop and they're left over from other projects. So you can use that if you want, or you can go out and buy a 1x12x8. All right, well, let's go over to my table saw and start cutting this down. Okay, we're by my table saw, and now I'm gonna set my blade to be 10 inches away from my fence. That's how wide we're gonna make the seat. Okay, everything's set. I'm gonna go get my piece of lumber and we're gonna run it through and cut it down. All right, so I have my sheet of plywood, and I actually have 2 of these, and they're both 4 feet long. The reason why you need 2 is one's gonna be for the back and one is gonna be for the seat. The width of my seat is gonna be 10 inches, and that's what I'm gonna cut on my table saw right now. So if you want the details on the dimensions, I'll put that in the description below. So for now, let's take this over to my table saw and cut the width. Okay, now that they're cut, the next step is to make the groove or the channel that the seat's gonna go into. Let me show you how we're gonna do that. All right, so we're gonna make our seat 10 inches by 10 inches. So we're gonna mark with our tape measure, 10 inches, and we're gonna do it on this board too, so this one needs it as well. So make sure you do it on both, 10 inches and 10 inches. Got it there. Let me mark this one. 10 inches. All right, and then we're gonna use this. We're gonna draw a line. All right, get some more lead. Ten inches. Make that a little darker. All right, so this one's gonna be our seat. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in and we're gonna mark 2 inches in on either side, 2 inches. And on this one, we're gonna mark 2 inches. And we're gonna mark 2 inches right here. And then we're gonna go up on this 3/4 of an inch, because that's the thickness of our board. So we're gonna make a little slot here that's 3/4 inches long. So to do that, we're just gonna use this. And I'm gonna come in 3/4 of an inch, which is right here. Let me get it on the line there. And then we're gonna do it on this side. Perfect. And then we're gonna come in. I'm gonna make it a little darker. And there you go. And this is the material that we're cutting out. Right in there. Okay, we're gonna cut this out. Let me show you. So we're gonna cut this out, and then we're gonna create a 2-inch channel all the way through here. So the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna get our pen, move this out of the way so you can see. I'll bring the camera a little closer. And we're gonna take 2 inches and go all the way down. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same thing to this side. Okay, so if you can see here what I'm doing, so this is what we're cutting out. Okay, and we're going to use a table saw to do that, but you're gonna have to be careful because the blade will wanna come in. So you're gonna stop probably about right here and then we'll hand cut the rest. To cut this piece out, what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill a hole and take a jigsaw and cut it out. And I think we'll do a jigsaw here too to make it nice and easy and clean. So let me show you how we're gonna do that. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the angle out here and notch it back here so that way we can have a clean run on our table saw. This side. Can you see okay? All right, so you want it to look a little like this before we run it on the table saw, and that's just because a circular blade will turn and you don't want it cutting into this part of the seat. So we cut it back far enough where it'll get a nice clean cut. Let's take this over to the table saw and I'll show you. Okay, so I set my table saw from the fence to the blade is 8 inches. That's minus 2 inches that we're gonna cut off here. All right, let's begin. All right. Now we need to push this in another 2 inches because we're 2 inches less of material on this side. Does that make sense? So we're gonna set it to be 6 inches. There we go. We're gonna flip it around and cut the other side. All right, so what I need to do is, I totally forgot this, but when you cut the first one, you're gonna have a little notch in the back. You wanna make sure that this board is flipped to the other side and that your fence is set to 2 inches. Otherwise, you'll hit the notch. Let me show you what I mean. So as you can see here, when it's moving, you're gonna hit this right here and you're not gonna be able to push the board forward. To solve that problem, all you need to do is back everything out, slide your fence over to be 2 inches because that's what we're taking off. So let me set that real quick. All right, 2 inches, it's locked down. Let me just double check that, looks good. And then you're gonna flip your board and we're gonna cut it through like that. And then you're not gonna have any issues, all right? All right, so I have everything flipped. We're gonna cut this last piece, and that's the seat. All right, so we cut our chair seat. That's what it looks like. Yours should look very similar to this. This right here is the back support that holds your seat in place. The next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this little groove out. To do that, we're gonna use a drill and a jigsaw. Let's go do that now. We cut our hole out. You can see here, the next step is to sand it, and you can use a paint stick and some sandpaper to get in there and sand it, or if you have a wooden file, you can do that too. Once we get it all sanded, we'll fit it together and see how it goes. All right, now that you've sanded everything, it's now time to assemble the chair. To do that, you're gonna take your seat just like this, and you're gonna slide it right into the slot or the groove that we made earlier. I'm just gonna push it all the way in, and you're gonna feed it all the way in until it can't go in any farther, and then you're just gonna lift it up, and there you go. You have a chair. I think I'm gonna make a little modifications to this, like bevel the edges, make a little design on the top. I may even get a nice little paint job. If you like this project, smash that thumbs up button for me. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to see what I'm making tomorrow, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ding that bell to get notified when I publish the new episode. Here's a quick sneak peek of what we're going to be making.